Hey, quants. Hope everyone's having a good day. Getting ready for the holidays here, so this will just be a quick one. I'm also going to be traveling over the week, so I may or may not be putting out some more content throughout this week. If I do put out content, it's going to be away from my typical workstation here, so it's not going to be the same amazing quality that I know you all are really expecting here. So with Bitcoin, just going to do real quick. It looks like we're finally getting a little bit of a relief rally here. Looking at the volume, we have not breached, or we are just about to breach the moving average on the volume, which would be a good sign in terms of potentially seeing some above average volume on this. On the downside, we had been exceeding that quite a bit, even when we had some of those buy candles. So just noting here, volume kind of died off. I think that was indicative of a little bit of a bottom here, and then now that it's picking up again to the buy side, hopefully we'll have a little bit of a sustained rally. And of course, my I won't say long term, but my midterm projection here is that we're going to come somewhere back to the 200s, and by the time that happens, of course, the 200s will have come down at some point, or will have come down to some extent to meet price when that happens. When that happens, I cannot say for sure, of course, but I'm thinking that looking at the other cycle analysis that I did, that will likely happen within the next 2 to 3 months. So of course it could definitely happen sooner, but of course no guarantees. So let's see, everything's pointing down right now. I guess I had turned off my table, but it doesn't matter because everything is still marked as bearish at this point. So if you're using the master strategy here, the idea would not to be taking long-term long positions, but to be taking scalping positions if you're going long. If on the other side, on the other hand, you're looking for shorts, then you would want to wait until we get upwards of the 200s, or maybe if you want to play the fast ones, you could potentially do that, but obviously they're pretty far apart here, and so those would be very short term, and that's not something I typically play. Looking over here at the oscillators, the MACD, if we close where we're at today, we're going to have another green bar on the histogram. As I mentioned before, usually after two green bars, we do get some continuation after that. So that, and I also called out before how low this was just in the history of Bitcoin. I believe this was, believe I said this last time, it was literally the lowest MACD reading in history, in the Bitcoin history, look using the index chart, the TradingView index chart. So with that said, obviously there's no guarantee it's just going to it's going to go up a lot, but there's a lot of room to go up and still maintain some bearish posturing here in the context of this bearish stance as the master strategy stands now. So I don't think I'm going to go into too much more than that. I think the other thing that I might just do real quickly is take a look. If we're using the VPVR, you can see we did get, of course this will change depending on where you're zoomed out. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. We got this bottom here just because I want to cut it off so that I see these channels here. So there was a volume node here that we kind of wicked below but bounced back up on. So it looks like this volume node is holding as support. This is kind of, this will plot the biggest one depending on how far you're zoomed in and out. And so right now we see that is right about 95,000. So if we get up to 95,000, we can see that was kind of historical support in the past, and so there's a good possibility that could also turn into some resistance as we start moving up in price again. And so just a couple of other things, just one other thing that I might take a look at. Did I grab the right one? Is that the way I want to draw that? Bottom to top. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go top to bottom here. So what I want to do is I want to get the top, I want to get the bottom, And then I want to change the settings in here to one of my default settings, and so 50%. And so the point of this is to just look at it from a GAN perspective. So top to bottom, we did get a little play around there before. That's going to be at 103. If we were to get up to the 50% level of this, that would be for the total drop. Another area where you might want to draw this is from the last pivot high, and so this would give us another potential confluent point around 95,000. Of course, this says 94,000, so the point is that this is also giving us a little bit of confluence that if we do get up that far, there's a good chance that we could see some resistance as price continues to turn up. I didn't touch on the stochastic oscillators that I use over here. So this stochastic oscillator is getting ready to cross over. That will print a buy signal if it does that. And so I don't know, I don't have like a reverse measurement on here to say when that's going to happen or what value that would need to be. But considering it's not there yet, of course, we'd need price to go higher or continue up for another day or so, like it is now, before we get that buy signal there. But that would look pretty positive, at least in the midterm, short to midterm, for Bitcoin, seeing some bullish or some upwards price action. So I hope everyone is doing well. Happy holidays for everyone who celebrates. Since Thanksgiving is coming up, and I hope everyone has a good holiday or enjoys some time off, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out, quants.